Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Troy Noor, Executive Director and Managing Shareholder with Boulevard Wealth Management.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Fisher, co-founder of Accelerate Business Development Services, adjunct professor at University of Northwestern in St. Paul. And today we're going to talk to owners who have spent decades climbing what we call the first mountain, building that successful enterprise, getting past those early stages of grind. But once you reach that peak, you find that there's a whole brand new landscape that appears.
Exactly, Greg. We call that the second mountain. It's the mountain of creating lasting legacy and harvesting that hard-earned wealth. But here's a sobering reality statistic. Did you know that according to the Exit Planning Institute, roughly 50% of all business exits are involuntary? They are forced by external factors and before the owner is emotionally and financially ready.
Yeah. So think about that. Half of the people watching this podcast today will not exit their company on their own terms. Today, what Troy and I are going to talk about is breaking down the 5 business killers. The 5 Ds is what we call it. And the 5 Ds include death, disability, divorce, disagreement, and distress. We'll show you how true transition readiness shields your company's value and your wealth from these threats.
Now, before we hit the 5 Ds, we have to talk about how buyers look at your business. Owners usually define value as the final purchase price, but a savvy buyer defines value as day one cash flow, future growth sustainability, and anti-fragility. Love that word, anti-fragility, right? It's
Right.
how well your company resists volatility.
Yep. So a true value creator business is a company that is attractive, ready, transferable, and valuable at any point in time. It is independent of the owner, but the owner's personal, financial, and business goals are all aligned. So what a business owner typically looks at as future potential, a buyer simply looks at as unmitigated risk. Things like founder dependency, messy financials, informal reporting structures, they all drop the market multiple instantly. Transitioning with readiness is initially 100% about de-risking your business. So if you look at the legacy and wealth blueprint, step 1 is envisioning the outcomes and developing strategy. But step 2 is immediately shoring up that value by eliminating the risks.
And Greg, we love to throw this slide up at our live summits, right? It says 99% of low and mid-market companies are not properly prepared for the 5 Ds.
Yeah. Close to 80% of business owners have absolutely no written transition plan, even though the business represents up to 90% of their personal net worth. So let's break down why.
Yeah. So let's start with the most obvious one, death. It's a harsh truth, but death itself does not destroy a business, right? Lack of preparation does.
Yeah. When an owner passes away, the business faces immediate leadership vacuum, employee panic, operational disputes, and massive erosion, massive value erosion in particular. But a prepared business with clear leadership continuity directives, funded with a buy-sell agreement, and also having in place predefined family liquidity transfers.
Yep. And you know what's more wild? Death creates certainty.
Mm.
Disability creates uncertainty, right? If an owner dies, life insurance kicks in and wills are executed. But if an owner suffers a severe cognitive or physical disability, you enter a gray area.
Yeah, and we've seen this, Troy. The gray area is just brutal. If you're unprepared, key employees experience tension, and no one knows who actually has the decision-making authorities. To protect against disability, you need tightly drafted legal documents with well-defined triggers in place. So who determines the owner is unfit to run daily operations? Who makes that decision? Is it one doctor? Is it 2 doctors? Is it a family member? Is it a board of trustees or a board of advisors? That thing must be defined upfront before a crisis hits.
Exactly. So now let's talk about the one that nobody wants to talk about at Thanksgiving, divorce, right? Divorce becomes a catastrophic business issue the exact moment ownership is legally exposed to a marital settlement.
Yeah. Standard operating agreements in most cases handle what happens if a partner dies or gets disabled. Shockingly, few address divorce. If you live in a community property state and your marriage dissolves without protection, your ex-spouse could suddenly be sitting down with 50% voting stock in the company that you started.
Yeah. Now think about that, right? An uninvited business partner sitting at the leadership table, right? Disrupting culture, stalling operations, and even potentially strangling corporate liquidity.
Yeah. To stay prepared, the operating agreement must have strict transfer restrictions. It should explicitly state that if a partner goes through a divorce, the company or other partners um, have the first right of refusal to buy back the shares at a predetermined valuation formula. This can all be stipulated in the operating agreements or other legal documents so that control is kept intact.
Excellent. Very. Next up is disagreement, right? Hey, look, business partners and associates disagree all the time, and that's actually healthy for growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But businesses fail entirely when there is no agreed upon mechanism for how to resolve those disputes.
Yeah, when conflict lacks a framework, it can quickly dissolve into something that's personal. Strategic decisions can stall, our market opportunities can be missed, momentum just kind of grinds down to a halt. Partnerships dissolve into multi-million dollar lawsuits over things that could have been resolved in an afternoon if they had properly prepared governance documents.
Yeah. Being prepared means having a tiebreaker mechanism baked into your governance, right? Whether it's an advisory board, a clear delegation of authority, or a structured exit mechanisms where one partner can buy the other out on agreed upon fair price. It allows business momentum to continue even if partners part ways. Yeah, the final D is distress, right? This can be a macroeconomic crash, a sudden supply chain collapse, or a massive cash crunch. Distress creates urgency, and urgency rarely leads to quality decisions.
Yeah, that's so true. And, we've experienced that in our own personal lives. When you're in financial distress, strategic options can narrow instantly, cash flow pressure suffocates daily moves. Your best employees can lose trust and start leaving. And external buyers gain massive leverage over you. And of course, that's one of the main considerations that we're talking about today is leverage in a buyer seller transaction. So you're stuck executing a fire sale just to survive in a case like that.
Yeah. But if you're prepared, you have already identified the early financial triggers. You need to maintain a clean cash reserves or an untapped line of credit before you need it, ensuring operational liquidity and that your operational liquidity stays secure, right? True preparation actually grows your optionality during a market downturn, letting you make proactive offensive choices while your competitors are panicking.
So, what is the master key to defending against all five of the D's? It's a simple mindset shift, really. If you run your business so that it can be sold in 6 to 12 months, so you're just continuously running the business in that mode of thinking, keep your legal structures tight, your proof documents accessible, and your financials transparent at all times. Those are the keys.
Excellent. Very good. When you are prepared, you own your own decisions. When you are unprepared, you are merely reacting to circumstances. True preparation preserves your optionality, protects your business value and legacy, and secures your family's generational wealth.
Absolutely. If you want to evaluate your own transition readiness or find out where your vulnerabilities hide, don't wait for a crisis to strike. Reach out to us. You can email Troy or call. You can email me or call. Our email addresses and phone numbers are provided here. And I just wanted to mention before we close that Troy and I are not legal advisors, but we can help business owners understand their vulnerabilities. And importantly, we can refer you to qualified legal counsel to help you protect your business, your legacy, and your wealth.
Absolutely excellent. Thank you, Greg. Let's go to work on that second mountain. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Business Legacy Summits.
See you later, everyone.